Hello and welcome to another episode of Malt Magic of More, where our main discussion point is that everyone needs to bow down and hail Ander Splinterthorn, the King of Nylon. It's the After the Show. All hail the King.
Hail to the
King. Anybody heard that Avenged Sevenfold song? No?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to have to find it now and we're going to...
Yeah, no, I'm going to go listen to it.
I'd put it on the stream right now, guys, but I can't, so never mind.
No.
We would get sued.
Well, no, we just lose any ability to be able to monetize this particular stream, so never mind.
That's fine. I will put a link to it on the socials later.
Well, I mean, my God, that was an impressive episode. Well done, Matt, for putting us through the ringer.
I really did
mental ringer this time.
Yeah,
I really did it coming. When I was like, Matt, what we're going to call this week's episode, and you went, I'll call it Bloodline. I was like, oh, that's a clue. I don't like this. This is going to go bad. So I had an inkling it was going to be something to do with Girth and the brothers. Right?
Girth.
But Girth, fuck's sake.
Fucking Girth.
Girth and the brothers, but I didn't think it would go into that far down the rabbit hole.
Alice, are you there?
I'd have to come up with a family crest and my family's true name off the cuff either.
You did really well at coming up with that. That was really good. Honestly,
so it was
really
an idea
good.
I had from one of the other podcasts I listened to, actually, Venture Maidens. If you want to listen to an all-female D&D podcast, Celeste Conaway is an absolute fucking genius. So go check it out. Like, brilliant show. They've just, I think they're on episode 6 of campaign 2. So yeah, check that out. But she, I think towards the end of season 1 or campaign 1. She just sort of flipped a switch and started getting the characters to describe certain things. Like, it didn't have to be a big thing. It was just like you enter a tavern. What's the first thing that you see? And letting the characters help build the world. And I loved that idea. So I thought at some point I'm going to start introducing that. And the first thing that I always knew I was going to do at some point was when it comes to, because we've always discussed about Anders' family, and there was certain things that I threw into the story, but I was like, okay, this is Danny's character, you own some of it, you create it, so your family crest, you come up with it, your family name, you create it, I really don't care what it is, we'll just weave it into the story.
And I remember like me and you texting about it ages ago though, and you're like, you need to think about what Anders' true name is because it's part of the prophecy or something he's got to solve. I was like, yeah. Then I thought to myself, I thought about it and I couldn't found one that I liked, and then obviously I forgot about it, thinking I would get a nudge the week before saying you might need to prepare this, but nope, straight in at the deep end.
Nope. Absolutely not.
I mean,
sometimes the best things happen off the cuff.
But I do like, in hindsight, I'm quite happy with the crest. Although I did try and draw it in my book, and it looks like I did it with my feet. So
describe it again.
So it's a kite shield. So it's like the four-sided shield.
Four-sided but elongated bottom. Yeah.
Almost like an elongated diamondy type shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
With an archer either side.
Yeah.
With then like a thorny, viney crown over the top.
Do you know what? I think that looks great. In my mind's eye, that looks great. We should have to, see what we bring together, and see sort of.
I will give it a go.
I'll use my terrible, like Photoshop skills to try and fuck one up, and see what I come up with.
Draw it.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. Obviously, I based it off the the United Kingdom crest, what that looks like. So I thought, right, shield in the middle, 2 things either side, crown over the top.
So are you actually thinking that of the 2 archers are inside the shield, not outside the shield?
No, they're outside the shield, like big archers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you've got the shield in the middle, the archers either side, and then the thorny crown is the bit on top.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's
a good idea. Cool. I like it. I'll
get it tattooed on me. And I will not.
I was just going to say that is dedication to D&D.
On which arse cheek?
Yeah. I tell you what, though, those fucking stones, and I consider myself. I'm not an idiot. None of us are idiots.
Yeah, but we overthink things. We overthink it far too much.
That's what I was going to say. That puzzle is brilliant because it's simple, right? If you actually think about it, they were just very simple things that were occurring, but you instantly start to think.
I did right.
Okay, they're saying things that make them sound stupid, basically because the person who's playing them has got to come up with fucking words that begin with an M at the start and the end of a sentence, which is impossible. So
I was about to say. So I think you would have got it, Danny, if I'd have picked up the red stone. You would have got it much quicker. But because I got the cough one, right? I actually know, and I'm pointing out a flaw I know I had, and that was I actually cleared my throat every time I started with Dargon's voice for many, many episodes, right? So ironically, I got that one. And I know that because I've listened back to some of our stuff. And I know that I came back to, I was, going, that's how I would do Dargon. So annoyingly, because I'd have to almost literally clear my throat of crap so that I could get a deep voice. So yeah, I happened to get that one, which is really annoying. I didn't even notice until about 30 seconds before the break that you said she and him, or her and him, right, talking about the stone to the door, right, and that's when I twigged it. And and during the break, I went, right, I'm going to try that one, and I'll ask. And obviously, the first one we got was that one.
Ironically, even then, I was doing it wrong because the curse was I had to change every noun into a pronoun. But then I was thinking, right, bridge, stone, table. But I googled it in the break for the stream on Monday, and I was like, fucking hell, everything is a noun. There are so many nouns. The word assessment, the word achievement, the word it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm just going to be going he, she, they, he, she, they, he, she, they for a whole sentence. So I did it wrong, to be honest. But
it worked, right?
But yeah, as I say, but I twigged the he and him, she and him, and therefore was like, okay, I think I've got it. And obviously, that's one of the things I would like to, break the fourth wall. I love about D&D is the fact that, Matt, you went, I'm close enough, like really close, I've twigged it, we've got it. Because we were close but not close with Bothrid's, as in we knew his speech but you'd given that as an obvious answer, and we were off a different tangent, you were like, I'm not giving that to you because you haven't got it yet. Until we got it.
Absolutely not.
Right? So, that was really good. And
if you'd have been, like, remotely close, like...
Yeah. Like,
he starts every sentence with an M word, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but as I say, you had to lead us to it. So that was fine. Now, what was obviously... And Danny, I'm sure you were the same, right? Because obviously you got it first, and I didn't notice a thing about the change in what you were doing. Right? And I'm sure you had the same as me, right? Now, obviously, the cough was slightly more obvious, but how do you twig that? And I was obviously hoping...
I think if I hadn't have gone first and I got a DM's whisper saying you are cursed, if you'd have picked it up first and Matt didn't say you'd got a DM's whisper and he just said you're now cursed and you were coughing, I probably wouldn't have noticed because I would have thought it was you doing your Dargon voice, right?
Yeah,
so
right. Now,
actually, ironically, if you'd have gone first with that, I probably would have never would have twigged.
Yeah, now I've got to say, I hope that I wasn't fucking it up too much. It was meant to be, you clear your throat, but you clear your throat by coughing, right? Don't you?
Well, yeah.
It, you know, the difference is that compared, you know, and I was like, you know, you know, it's like there's that, and well, you know, you do the same. So I was like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna go with the cough because that's I think that's, you know, that's right for Dargon. Anyway, yeah, really difficult and so subtle. And obviously, when I realised how subtle the other two were, I'm like, oh fuck. Now I have to say that the Bothrid one was so subtle, and I cannot.
It is really, really hard.
Mr. Dargon.
I really wanted one of you to put that, like, pick that stone up.
We twigged Mr. Dargon, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a.
Well, Bothrid's got a limited vocabulary anyway.
Yeah.
I was
about to say, so does
he's
Matt,
now got to think
apparently.
of words that begin with M to start and finish a sentence with. So it's going to be my, maybe, magic, mother, fuck knows.
And we literally, though, fell in to the classic D&D trope of, right, you've got this solution here. This is what the main thing you need to do. And we spent all of our time on this little bit over here, overthinking the free balls. We were like, oh, they must mean the Celestials. They must mean this. And we went off on a right philosophical prophecy tangent. We were like, fucking hell, they're just freestones to make you talk weird.
Do you know what, right? It really does bring you back to, right, you know when you think that you know, like, you know something, you're holding a secret with someone, and you're like, everyone else must know it, right? That must be what a DM goes through all the time. Like, how are they missing this shit, right? Because it's so obvious to them.
Obvious.
Right, yeah. I know I'd be the same. I'd be like, how are you not getting this? I came up with this and I knew it was going to be simple, you know? It's like, because it comes down to also the same as profession, right? You know, all three of us have different professions and all of us will but it's simple, right? But it's because we know it, right? And that's the difference. That's when we go, oh, it's really interesting to see from the other side of the fence. You know, we're standing there going, I don't get it. Clearly, Bothrid's more intelligent. It's just like, we're coming down this random
it wasn't
route.
me saying it was simple because I knew that one was going to be the hardest part of the puzzle.
that one wasn't.
It was me getting exasperated at myself, thinking, how can I do this without making Bothrid seem like he's totally changed?
No,
Because Bothrid doesn't speak a lot anyway.
Yeah.
And in order to solve the puzzle, Bothrid needs to talk.
So it was right. It was going to be difficult if it was going to be Matt playing that one or some Mao, because some Mao would have blitzed that one to a degree that we would have never got it. Right? We'd have been like,
at least Kirik's got a vocabulary though.
Yes, but I also mean that he would have done it so perfectly that we would have never noticed any change. Like, oh come on,
Yeah.
you know. And so yeah, it was just brilliant. And yeah, obviously the fact that he ended everything with magic and it's like, oh, it's so obvious now. But you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
The simpler the puzzle, the more we overthink it. That's just how it works.
Because you're expecting it to be something like, oh, this has got to be super arcane and lore-bound.
Which is exactly what we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
Fuck
brilliant.
all to do with the lore, just 3 stones that curse you.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And as you say, Danny, from the perspective of the person who got the text second, you are quite correct, right? I got it first. Sorry, I got it second. So I knew immediately that you had been cursed.
Yeah.
That was what I twigged. I didn't know how, but I had that crucial clue. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas you had a DM whisper. I am sure that you thought maybe I'm cursed. But thank God Bothrid didn't go in the middle, otherwise that would have screwed both of us up, probably.
But even then I didn't twig when mine was a grammar, English literature related curse. When you was coughing, I was like, oh, maybe his is like a physical curse.
Well, yeah, and
that's why I was like, let me see what's in your mouth. When you says like, I've got something stuck in my throat, I was like, maybe he actually has got something stuck in his throat.
Yeah, it was just me trying to think of, obviously ways of explaining away me coughing and clearing my throat, and and that's it.
That's what
maybe I did it wrong. Like, maybe it should have been more of a clearing your throat. But again, in the realms, I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. I would love to point out that let the guessing begin. Right, we haven't actually covered that one. That is exactly what happened, and of course, because it's about to get hectic, it did. So that is absolutely superb. So Matt and of course the places that you got that from, both of you need credit. Kassoon and Matt, you need credit for that, because that was awesome. And yeah, I love that, because it's one of those interesting things.
We went into a room and there was like nothing there, and I was like, fucking hell, we went through all of that, and there was just a box, like a room with some urns in it. Right,
now I want to go on to that one, because I did think about that while we were in the episode. So Dargon did what he thought. We're in a place looking after you, not going to pick it up. I'm sure those things are very valuable. May even some magical items. There may even been one of the necklaces that I picked up is necklace of fireballs. We don't know. We don't know. So we're going to have to find out later on, I'm sure, and all that lot. But do you know what I also thought? And this is a complete side tangent, and exactly what we just spoke about, overthinking it. But the ring that you picked up, maybe now you're possessing that ring. Will the throne do something now? Now that you're possessing that ring, or again, is it a chair? At which point it's just a chair. Now, again, that type of stuff that goes through my mind while we're playing this, and while you two are up on screen and I'm sitting in the background, eating my Doritos, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder if it is, because it's very fun.
You're right though, because when Matt said the throne appears that it has been moved here, I thought, right, we need to take it back to its original place to unlock the power. But then there's like the bit that I've been told where the throne is mine. I just need to take it, or the throne is mine to take, and it's where I choose it to be. So that's why I sat on it saying, this is the one, this is where I want it to be. But then nothing happened, and I was like, fuck.
Matt, did you also say that it was a copper throne?
Bronze.
It was stone and had brass sort of over it.
Brass.
Again, this is where my brain goes when I'm half listening. It's like, ooh, brass, bronze, copper, that type of thing, those sort of mixtures, right? Is, because if I remember correctly, brass is copper and zinc. Anyway, that's by the by. I just suddenly go electricity, energy, magic, and I'm like...
Is it a conduit for something?
Yes! That's exactly where my brain goes to.
Tesla coil?
Yeah, exactly. Like, are you going to sit in there and suddenly amplify your powers, and suddenly, Dr. Xavier has powers over the rest of the Nylon?
Could have gone down the dragon trait, brass dragon.
That as well, but okay, slightly more logical. Brass, as in, bronze, Bronze Age. Okay, dwarves mining bronze. That's how it's down here. So that's slightly more logical, slightly more connected to the actual lore as to why it's a bronze, thing instead of silver, instead of gold, etc., etc. So that's a more logical route down the lore, but still, that's exactly where I'm on my mind too. It was it was a sort of a Doc Brown, great Scott. But it also, well done, Matt. If this was intentional, really well done. If you've weaved this in because Samao had to be away for 2 weeks, also seriously well done. The fact that you said that the veil is thin here means that is the reason why Kirik was able to get back to wherever he was sent to, because it is thin here. So that's another thing I'd just like to point out. Well done.
I bet. And I actually thought in my head when you went, the veil is thin here, I was like, Kirik's going to have a boner when he hears that.
Right. Now, that was also what I thought is how interesting if we have to enter the veil with Kirik's special ability to release your ancestor from the binds of this world in order to essentially, this is really going into it, to kickstart what was happening as the fight was going on. You know, there were all three things going on. He bound it into one. Let's say that he froze time, right? He froze time and pushed Nylin away, right? And we have to essentially, for want of a better word, release him / kill him in death to push him into the afterlife, therefore reenacting it into where it was originally set, i.e. connections with all three areas. And the only way that you can heal it is to put it back into that place, because essentially what you're doing is holding it in stasis, and therefore you can never get it back into where it's meant to be. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that right? You know what I mean?
Because he did it with a wish, didn't he? And it removed Nylin. But if the orb is part of the source, and the source is the power, right? Is the other part, so we've got this orb, is the other part the sword we left in the Feywild?
Yeah, it's already... Who's got that? Do we leave it there?
We left it there in an anti-magic field, so like you can't really detect it or know it's there.
True, could be possible, but as I say, that sort of explanation of you can't break it, you can't fix it if it's not broken, if it's in stasis. If it's in stasis, it's neither broken nor fixed. So we're taking Nylin back into the timeline of being destroyed, and therefore we then have to bring it. Once we've kicked it back into gear and starting to destroy it again, is the only way we can fix it. So we have to break his connection from the soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he said it would destroy everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it's part of the source, what other parts of the source do you think we've found them yet, or are we yet to find them? Do you think the source is one?
Possibly from stuff that Matt said, it was that this was part of the source. There was some description that meant that this energy orb was part of it, of so whatever it being in terms. Yeah,
the parts that glowed gold,
which were Mantineer, Shiverspire,
Feywild, and Ironforge.
Was it?
Was it?
I'm gonna have to go revisit that one.
Gonna have to revisit that one. I don't think it was. I think that we're mixing up where the prophecies are and where the orbs are, for want of a better term. Mantineer, I'm sure, is one with Shiverspire. That one I'm certain on.
Yeah, so I suppose my question is, those things that glow gold, we thought they were where the prophecy were, but is it actually where parts of the source are?
If I remember correctly,
we're in Shiverspire and there's no source, but Shiverspire didn't glow gold, did it?
I think it was. Is it Deluin?
Deluin,
Mantineer, Shiverspire. I believe are the three places that glowed.
Didn't Feywild glow because we said we need to go back there because we didn't get a prophecy? Or did Ironforge glow? Come on, Matt, just tell us.
No. Because it's kind of key to the fucking story. So.
Right, so Danny and I, and presumably some Alfie doesn't know, are going to go and rewatch that one, which is what, 3-4 weeks ago. I can't remember. We need to go rewatch that one. I mean, I can bring it up on screen now if you want, but
so. Luckily, we'll change the subject, otherwise I'll annoy myself talking about that for the next half an hour. When we went into that room and I was following the ghost and I didn't follow him straight and I went to the alcove that Matt teased, if I hadn't have gone there and got that tome book...
Yeah.
Because, right, it's obviously custom made for Anders' character. The book contains guidelines for influencing and charming others. And its words are charged with magic. I've got to spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book. And then I get a permanent charisma score increase of 2, and the maximum score increases to 2, and then the manual loses his magic for another century.
Yes. Now that was the type of book that I was expecting the other ones that we had. That is a very much D&D centric skill increase, and that is one of those ones that is very, very available to you. So yeah, basically we need to leave you alone for 2 days while you read that one, and it is very, very important that you do that.
And that would give me a spell save DC of 18, a charisma of +5, and a charisma score of 20.
Oh well, our DM doesn't half look after us when when he wants to. He's very, very.
And then we're talking +15 to deception, persuasion, and a +16 to performance.
Now I do believe they're the ones that you also can't roll lower than a 10.
Yeah, so basically guaranteed 25 or higher.
That is unfucking believable. I just point that out right now.
Kirik's going to believe every word I say.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. Absolutely amazing. Do crack on with that current thought
Matt's
for a second.
making Ander more powerful there, and I'm still yet to find out what the dagger does, which means once I've attuned to that as well.
The dagger's cool. The dagger is cool.
Which means the next
a lot of this shit, let's be fair,
nuts.
A lot of this shit is not meant to have happened right now when I was planning it, because I was thinking, Shiverspire, they won't go till to much later on because there's no need, but we've got hooked on Shiverspire, and so we're here, so everything that I've planned is still there. I'm not going to change it. It's there for you to go and have at. So yeah. Do you want those 4 locations, by the way?
Yeah.
Because it's going to bug you in it. When Dave gets back, we'll go through.
I want to be able to go to sleep tonight.
That's fine. So the 4 locations. They're Glowed Gold, Ironforge, Delywin, Mantineer, and Telma.
Telma, that was the fucker. That was what we never would have
right. That's what made us think that it was the prophecy, but we've obviously got information about the fact that it.
Because we have got prophecy from Telma, we have got it from Ironforge. Actually, we haven't been to Mantineer and Telewin, so the fact that it's prophecy might still be right.
So the prophecies from are in those 4 places, but what we're looking for is the source.
Also the source, but
which is connected, but is not the prophecy. So it's connected.
Because Ramada didn't know of the prophecy.
No.
He only knows of the source, which is part of the power he wanted to wish away. But what I actually did was just wish away Nylin containing that power. And it's obviously the power that Zapanir is after, and all of her allies and everybody else wants this, right? But he also said we need to find the seer. And is that because she will help us get rid of the power, or because we mentioned the prophecy and he's like, what the fuck you on about? I need to speak to her about that.
I've got that many things rolling in my head right now. I'm probably going to forget some of them.
Because he was making me think, and I know you was on the same wavelength. I was then, fucking hell, is the seer a bad guy?
Yeah, no, honestly, there was something he said that I was like, whoa, hang on a minute, right? Is the seer trying to restart, start the generator? Is she using us to start it again? We're thinking, forgive me, I'm going like full season 3 or 5 of Supernatural here, but thinking that we're doing good and completely blowing shit up, right? I was going full on, are we being taken for fools here? Which, if it was, I was like, that I would be happy to be taken for a fool on that case.
It'd have to be a mad twist that all of the bad guys we're facing, the actual flip twist is we're the bad guys.
Yes,
they're actually trying to stop us.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. That is what is so wonderful about that idea. I love it as an idea. I hope not, but it's big braining it if it is.
Nah, but that can't be the case, because all of the bad guys are proper proper bad guys. We've got like Dark Eladrins and Mind Flayers and fucking
and to be fair, we would also have got like hints like, guys, do you not know what you're doing? You're being taken for fools and all that lot. So we would have been, I think we would have been given hints like that. And if we have, and guys on stream, if you're watching it and think that we're being completely blind, please tell us. But no, I don't think that's the case. I just think that is just me mixing all the stuff I've watched.
The seer is an ally of all of the enemies, and her getting us to do the prophecy is us solving the mystery of how to find all of the sources of power for her. But then again, because the Eladrin also wanted to find out what the prophecy was.
Yeah.
But I think that's because he thought the prophecy led to the sources. But no, it doesn't necessarily.
No. So, coming back to the bit where I popped off. Yes, you are being made more powerful. That makes me excited and scared.
But Matt just said he didn't think we'd be at Shiverspire yet. We somehow decided we wanted to go to Shiverspire out of nowhere.
You've taken a total left fucking field turn to Shiverspire. Somebody got hooked on Shiverspire for something somewhere, and it's just been there buzzing away the whole time. So right, just all fucked off to Shiverspire.
I can tell you, we left Ironforge knowing. Yeah, I know that for some reason in my head, and it may have been pre-stream, we were told about Ironforge was where we needed to go next, but then the three places were the Black City, Shiverspire, and Feliad Forest. We were told not to go to Feliad Forest. We were told that Black City was where all the rebels were. Therefore, the only other choice was Shiverspire. So when we came back from Ironforge, after knowing that we'd done that mission, we knew the next place was there. That is why
where the three thrones are, right? The three ancient thrones.
But that is why we were drawn to them. So,
and we thought prophecies, but then obviously we got stuck on side quests.
Yeah, we thought prophecies, but also knew full well that it wasn't prophecies, because Ironforge was a prophecy and wasn't one of the three places. So we knew it had some connection, but we didn't think it was prophecies. So we were like, we have to go to one place to find out why we have a connection. We are there. We are finding why. Simple as that.
But to be fair, we thought we were going to go there via Mantineer.
Yes.
Which then would have kicked off the Mantineer storyline and why the fuck does it glow gold in our dreams. And then we was obviously going to go through the Pass of Zharn. But we went the hard way to Shiverspire because we didn't want to go past Escalion, which was one of the side quests we did. So if we hadn't done that side quest first, we'd have just gone to Mantineer.
We are trying to build the wardrobe from IKEA without having put any of the pieces together. That is what we are doing right now. Right?
We have not discovering there's Narnia on the other side.
Yeah. We have not done pages 1 and 2 of this quest of this manual. We have jumped to the end and gone, this doesn't make any sense.
364, yeah.
It's a 3-sided wardrobe with Narnia on the other side, and Mr. Cummins is trying to put the doors on for us after we left.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are currently trying to use a spanner and a wrench, and we need a screwdriver and a hammer. So yeah, and so I love the fact that we've done that, because that's D&D. That's exactly how this works. So yeah, I'm very interesting.
Glad my decision, or my stupid thing to attune to the wrong sword, just because I was dying to find out what it did and what it was, and whether, because I guessed it might be that, but I wanted to confirm my own guess. And I'm so glad the fact that I didn't attune to the flame tongue rapier didn't come back to bite me yet. It might do with these skeletons, but I don't know. But I'm also glad I attuned to it, because now I know that's a Kyrric weapon if I ever did see one.
But that's good, because you can actually RP that. You can RP the fact that you are aware, you feel the power and go, I know this to be something that my friend is actually more proficient with. And a short rest will sort that out between you two. Simple as that.
I know even you would want it, Dargon, because it's an undead damage dealer, but you've already got a sword that fucking does all of that, so it's like, it's got to go to Kyrric.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Kyrric against undead, good. Me against fiends, good. You against Everything else, brilliant. You know, we're covered. Right? I have to admit though, it was a bit of a shock to realise that not Monday session, but the Monday before, that Bothrid got down to 1 hit point, and that I believe is because he bounced back up due to someone else helping him. Right? For the first time, he got fucked over. Right? Barbarians don't often get fucked over, so that is quite impressive. I still don't know what to do, and that is why I wanted to, partly because I needed to, take a break from the problems of, running the stream and fucking up my own preset. But I needed to also give Dargon that ability to go, shit went south, and that wasn't a good way of doing it. None of us had fire, right? And also none of us talked about having fire. So that was something we needed to actually discuss and do and work on and actually do. Even I as a player don't have an answer as to what my character can do in that scenario, because I am not a guy who can just change his spells. So that is when
bless you.
The battle scenario, that if I am to believe that the intelligence of Dargon is meant to come out of the battle scenarios, I need to bear in mind possibly not even just in battles, but the prior to battles, that planning for the inevitable.
The war game. And so
the war game.
When we
planning,
to rest,
Bothrid, please make sure you have a fire spell.
And Danny, have you still got that sword that sets on fire?
Yeah. Right?
And
yes, but also, and that's it. He's actually going, right, our surroundings. What are we going to go up against? What are we going to have to combat? And I need to do that for my character. It's unfair on me to actually have my failings mess up my character's ability to actually, battle plan. So that's what's really interesting about that whole scenario is, as you say, it could have been, we're in cold. Ander, do you want to make sure you got your flame tongue rapier? Simple as that.
Yeah.
So, super interesting, I think.
Good.
Hopefully we'll take some away from that. There is so much more to unpack that I'm sure. And as I say, things like, are you actually, now that you're wearing that... Now you're wearing that ring, are you going to have a different, response to that throne? When we go back after a fight, if we hopefully make it out of it, are we going to be able to get back in? Is there another route in? We don't think so, because we do believe it is below, and this is the only time that we'd be able to get below. Are we going to be able to find some way to get, back down there? Are we going to have to do that room again? Is it going to be that door? Sorry, is it going to be obvious? Are there any other ways? I didn't even remember whether there was another way out of that place. Is Kirik also just going to spring back next to us? We don't know. So I think it's going to be really important to see this, but I think it's one of those ones of, we were frustrated before. I'm now excited about the fact that we have so many more questions to ask about this whole thing than we did before. I'm just excited about it. So it's all good.
It's a bit of a dickhead move, leading me down to that place, and then once he gives me the gift he wants to give me, I'm then faced with Jason and the Argonauts on the way out.
The veil is thin.
So the veil is thin, so we have some undead against us, which is interesting.
Yeah. Was it... Oh my God. Was it the fact that he laid himself down to rest, I took the weapon, I didn't... That's not a trap he set. Because I had that surge of power, it alerted somebody, there's been a surge of power, and they've come from somewhere else through the thin veil.
So the thin veil, you've got the enemies who are against us who are like, as soon as you feel this power, jump through. Or it gave them the ability to jump through the veil.
Because as soon as we dispelled the magic in the Feywild, they came for the sword.
Yeah.
It's like, power surge, go, go, go.
It's like ripping rice paper. They're suddenly allowed to jump through, and they're against us to attack us. So yeah, we've got to defeat them, get out, and find out what the hell we're going to do after that. That's a lovely theory.
But if they're skeletons, they're undead. So I could technically cut through them with this sword like a knife through butter.
Well, let's hope so, because, that's good. I know, personally, I hope they're fiends, which is a weird thing to say, but only because, I deal an extra
I just don't know
2d10.
How confident Anders going to be swinging a bloody longsword about, to be honest.
It's going to be one of those, riding a bike, but, still, like whacking into a pillar at some point, like whoops.
Let's just hope the dice gods are reflective of that, and
Mate.
be like, yeah, okay, Anders not picked up a longsword, he's going to roll shit for the first 6 rolls.
To be fair,
He's
though,
gonna remember
it's
what he's
only a
doing.
+5 to hit, so it could go terribly wrong.
Only a +5 to hit. Some fucking players go lifetimes without hearing that.
Mate, I'm just a +12 here.
I was about to say,
+12.
plus 13. Whoops.
With the dagger, it's a +10. That's before I've even attuned to it. It's only 1d4 +5, like. But that could obviously increase.
Can you imagine,
Matt
right?
was saying off
That
stream,
actually
he's
is a
glad I picked
+10,
dagger.
and you say it's 1d4 +5, but URP that you shove this dagger into one of their skulls, and suddenly it just explodes, and the Matt the DM is explaining the fact that it just obliterated that thing in one shot, and you're like,
holy shit!
fucking hell.
But Matt was saying outside of the stream, he was hoping and was trying to get me to say dagger. And luckily, I did.
Nice.
I knew where I was going with that. I knew exactly what I was going to turn this fucking blade into. I was just waiting for Ander to say, I want a hand axe.
I want a great axe. I can barely wield it.
Fucking blow darts.
Well, shall we find out next week?
Absolutely.
I honestly thought next week, when Kirik comes back, it was going to be RP heavy like this was. It was like a counter parallel timeline of what Kirik's doing while we've been doing that. Ooh. So I was half expecting Matt to go, Dave and Danny, you've got the week off next week because it's a Kirik RP episode.
Well, maybe he'll do that for the first half hour, then we'll come back, have a fight, then we'll have a break, then we'll join up together again, and then we'll, crack on and talk about everything that's happened. That, to be honest, I'd like to see.
Matt just needs 2 versions of himself, and then we could literally do cutscenes of Kirik's RP, and then boom, us having a battle, and then back to Kirik. So you just need a replicant for next week, Matt.
I need to make it. I need to make one of those like VR, light leaks stingers that just goes boom across the screen. It's just like, and we're back.
I can manage that.
Yes.
Don't need to clone myself.
If you can sort that out for next Monday, that'd be great.
That'd be good. Right, well, let's sign off this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in to our lovely Just Chatting Malt Magic and More, where we discuss our Monday night campaign, where we have, unfortunately for this time, missed Samal, our resident cleric, who has always kept us on the tracks. But it's good fun to always see where the hell we go without one of our party members. Thank you very much for tuning in on this lovely Wednesday evening. I hope you have enjoyed tonight, and I hope that you're also following us on our main campaign on a Monday night. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you ever so much indeed. Please like and subscribe. If you're following us on Twitch, please consider following us. It's completely free to you guys to be able to do all that stuff, and it gets us to our goals. We really appreciate it if you do. So please do follow along on our socials, on all the platforms that we discuss, YouTube and Twitch. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next week, and good night.